practices. And it is quite dangerous. Chemical ripened mangoes that are being ripened with some sort of dangerous chemicals. Yes, that is a kind of warning. And I hope that our people will abide by that warning. We killed forest strangers in Oyo because they arrested 3 Fulani herders. That is according to a suspect. And says his share of ransom was 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira that people like Goki or Big Sam will spend within the 3 hours. Now, this one says Kwara killings. Yes, this is an explanation here. How terrorists lured victims with prayer call over reopening of National Secretariat. We'll see what that story entails. And Tinubu unveils major sports sector reforms. And security agents storm Kogi forests, arrest 8 criminals. And we're still talking about the Kwara State massacre. Attackers returned on Wednesday to continue their onslaught, but retreated when they saw soldiers. Yes, the program is still conversation, and we'll be back after this little short timeout. Stay with us. Yes, the program is still conversation on OLUYOLEFM 98.5 right here in the city of Ibadan. And yes, the stories that I read earlier, the headlines. Well, I want us to just see some things here. Kwara killings, that Kwara killings that happened just recently. Now, there is a revelation here. How terrorists lured victims with prayer call. They lured them with prayer calls, and they just walked into the trap.
Okay, the early morning prayer call.
Yes.
But where were those that were supposed to make the calls originally? There are those who make that call daily.
Well,
and the imam. What did they do to the imam?
Yes. Well, let me quickly go through some aspects of this story before we move to other stories now. Survivors, yes, they relieved escape from the deadly attack. Some of them, U.S. Lambs killings backs Tinubu security deployment, and 50 victims recuperating in hospitals. NEMA deploys response team, relief items to Kaima. Now, it was a typical late afternoon harmattan scene. The temperature had begun to fall, but the sun still hung easily in the sky and the air dry and dust laden. Farmers were returning from their field while some traders were closing their shops. For a group of young men, including 26-year-old school teacher Umar Bill Kabir, the hour marked the start of a routine football game. The camp was disrupted when a long convoy of armed men on motorcycles rode into Woro in Kaima local government area of Kwara State last Tuesday. A resident said there was no need for warning or speculations. Now, I can't really see where it was said that there was a call for prayers. I think they just stormed that community, and an agency reported that in one of the communities the terrorists went into a mosque, yes, announced the prayer call, and shot everyone who turned up. Attacked were Wuru and Nuku, both of them are largely Muslim communities.
And yet they say it is
Christian genocide
ongoing in Nigeria. Well, I hope we can only turn to God now to give us victory over these evil men and their sponsors. Hunt them down to their very enclaves, to where they are. They must have retreated somewhere. And I have a feeling that security agencies know where that is. That is why they are able to strike with such impunity repeatedly from time to time, over and over again, because they cannot be far away from their target communities. And like I said, I have this feeling security agencies actually know where they are. So, I don't know, it's not enough for the soldiers to be. They won't stay there forever. And as they always say, they will tell us that they cannot be everywhere at the same time. So, like I said, we must end this once and for all. It's not just a national tragedy in our story. It is becoming an international embarrassment to us. And if we are thinking of, I think we're only fooling ourselves if we keep saying that we are bringing investors to this country. Yes, agreements will be signed, deals will be signed about investors coming into this country to do business. But I can bet you, with this kind of situation, they will not come. We should stop fooling and deceiving ourselves over this. Well, as for the Americans, well, I think in a way, if we are to go by what is being reported in the dailies today, I think what the people who are sponsoring these evil acts intend to achieve, I think they have failed, because the Americans, yes, they said that they support President Tinubu's efforts to end this carnage once and for all, and that they will be going into deeper security collaboration. Well, like I said, if we are to go by what is reported by the papers, and the only thing that could hinder progress again is if the Americans at some point see that we are not serious. And I have a feeling that we are not. And it's only a matter of time before the Americans themselves see that we are not serious about this, about these issues. As for the forest rangers, well, we took that already. They said they killed the forest ranger because they arrested 3 Fulani herders. And the one that said the share of ransom was 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira to kill. And so it would kill because of 10,000 naira.
And that 10,000 naira, where will it take him to? I earlier said, Big Sam and Goki, it will take them even 2 hours to finish that 10,000 naira. You have a beautiful family, Bimbo. When you are going home, sometimes you do brunch at that one big supermarket. I don't want to mention the name. At Idiakwe, and then if you buy 2 jars of ice cream, one is sold for 4,000 naira. That's 8,000 naira. Just make your family happy for the evening and after dinner. That is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Just 8,000, and then it means 2,000 naira to complete 10,000 naira.
Yeah, yes.
So that is what he is collecting to kill people.
To kill people.
Well, so what they said there was instructed himself and others to kill all people they saw at the park office, and that they should set their men free, which was exactly what they did. They killed everyone they found and then took their men away. But thank God they are in the net now, and then they must answer to the law.
Yes, you mentioned something that the military, the military that those terrorists saw. That is the Wednesday incident again. That was there any pursuit to know where they were approaching? And that you said they might know, they might know where the locations are. Now, I just want to example. There was a time armed robbers were, rampant in my area, where they attacked homes and those, and at one particular time, they now came in. They were inside already. And when the police were contacted, some detachments of policemen, when they were contacted by one retired police officer that was living behind my area, when the police were coming, they started blaring sirens. You understand, blaring sirens, so that to let the armed robbers know that they are coming, they are around, so that to be able to give them time to flee the area. So I think kind of related to what you are saying.
And an interview with the chairman of Kayama local government, Abubakar Abdullahi Danladi, and then one of the questions they asked him, and I quote the reporter now. So you said these people preach somewhere in Niger State. This means that they are known to some people and can be identified because they preach to people. What has been done by the security agencies to place their hands on these people who are causing this kind of havoc? And the chairman responded, these people are almost professionals, if they are not professionals indeed in what they do. They come in face masks to carry out the operation. We have some of our kinsmen in Niger State in a town called Babana in Borgu, local government area of the state. What these people have failed to do in our area, they have succeeded in doing in Babana villages. And they said what is said is that they have succeeded in indoctrinating the people in those areas. So really, the situation is really very complex, Bimbo. You see in some areas where the people have succumbed to these evil elements who come under the garb of religion. And then, from what the man is saying, not only do they use sophisticated weapons, they know how to use weapons. They are well trained. These are also factors that need to be looked into. They have financiers, they have people that train them, possibly linked with organizations like ISWAP, like ISIS, that have well trained people. Trained in military tactics, trained in military strategies. So what we are up against could be very much beyond just some ragtag common criminals. These are well-trained people, like I always say, disciplined killers.
Yes.
And then we must also understand what we are up against. We must know who we are fighting, if we are to win this war against terror.
Well, to some politics here now, talking about the PDP. Well, I see here PDP factions square up over reopening of National Secretariat, and the sealed building to be reopened on Monday, says Anyawu. Turaki group warns police against giving pro-Wiki faction access. And what is that supposed to mean? A PDP faction square up. I thought it meant that they had agreed.
Square up. And that's spoiling for a fight.
Spoiling for a fight. Well, the two factions of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, launched into a fresh face-off. Okay, yes. Yesterday, after the pro-Wiki group announced its plan to reopen the Walata Plaza National Secretariat in Abuja for business on Monday, The announcement did not go down well with the Taminu Turaki-led faction, which warned that any such move would amount to self-help and declared that responsibility for any injury to persons or damage to property arising therefrom should be placed solely on the aggressors and their security collaborators. And the building was sealed by the police on November 19, 2025, following a clash between the Taminu Turaki-led National Working Committee and that of the factional acting national chairman, Abdurrahman Mohammed. Well, I don't understand all this. Why these all elders, grown-up men and women, politicians, why all this? That means what he has said now, that any injury or a fracas that occurs or damage to anything, and everybody should be held accountable. So that means anything can happen.
Nothing is going to happen.
Are you sure?
The man who is leading his faction there, the set caretaker committee, the man who is leading them there, and the squads, they won't be going alone. Of course, they will be going under the cover of the security agencies, and that cover is going to be very, very heavy, bimbo. And I doubt if anyone will dare want to dare the security. But unless they change their mind at the last minute, of course, maybe in the interest of peace, or the IGP steps in and says, okay, for now, do not go to the secretariat. And they are going on the premise that, the INEC has recognized them, the courts have recognized them. But then, I think the other faction too has gone to court for a stay, something like a stay of execution under the prevailing situation regarding the party. But then, we'll see how it unfolds, Bimbo. Let's have this quick commercial and we'll be right back.
Bàbá, ẹ̀gbọ́n tó nílò òun wí ni. Mo kúkú gbọ́. Ó ná ọmọlúàbí pọ́nbélé. Bọ́lá ju ti wá ń pọ̀ sí yìí. Ṣáwá lè sọ pé ọmọlúàbí pọ́nbélé kan bẹ níbì kan mọ́. Ó sì wà ọmọ àfiwà bí. Inú ìran ní ti ràn wá. Ni wọ́n fi ń pè ní ọmọnìwà òbí, ọmọlúàbí. Ọ̀làjú tó wá ń tọ́ka sí un kò fi gba kankan pa ọmọlúàbí run. Ẹni mẹ́tọ́ tó sì ń ṣẹ̀tọ́ láwùjọ là ń pè ní ọmọlúàbí. Ẹ ṣeun bàbá. Orúkọ rẹ yẹ kó tàn yẹniyẹni ju aṣọ ara rẹ lọ. Ìwọ ọmọlúàbí kò kútarí kò sí lè kúta láíláí. Jẹ́ ọmọlúàbí. Àjọ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tí ń wuni sókè tanijí kálẹ̀ gbárùkù ti dàgbàsókè amúlùdùn àtọrọ̀ ayé. Èyí ni Ọ̀yọ́ State Mobilization Agency for Socio-Economic Development, OMASED, ní Ṣùwàlétí.
COS event grand yẹn máa bọ̀. Ohun tá à ń sọ ni pé onírúurú ayẹyẹ tẹ́yìn bá fẹ́ ṣe ó ti wù kó fẹjú tó. ní COS event grand òun ló kájú ẹ̀ òun ló káàtó. ṣọ́kùn àgbà lẹ́yìn fẹ́ ṣe ni tàbí ìgbéyàwó tàbí birthday tàbí open year crusade. ó sì jẹ́ book launch ní tiyín ni ẹ máa bọ̀. ẹ̀yin sá ti kàn sí wa ní yàrá kẹrin commercial department ní COS ilé akéde tàbí kẹ́ ẹ pè sórí COS customer care line tololong 0915-870-3300 BCOS event grant ilé àríyá fáwọn tó mọ bó ṣe ń lọ.
Let's go back and still conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Back and still conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. Still on politics, Kano government says it targets 4 million voters ahead of 2027. So, who are those 4 million voters going to vote for, according to the Kano state government? Or are you still that 4 million people are going to vote, are going to perform their civic duty, irrespective of who they vote for? Let's see. The Kano state government has intensified efforts to boost civic participation ahead of the 2027 general election, setting a target of registering at least 4 million new voters across the state's 44 local government areas. Now, that sounds very patriotic and apolitical. The Commissioner for Information and Internal Affairs, Ibrahim Abdullahi Waya, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Kano on ongoing voter mobilization and registration activities. He said 267,790 eligible residents have successfully completed their voter registration between August 2025 and now, and are awaiting the collection of their permanent voter cards. PVCs. So he's saying that 4 million people will be performing their civic duty in 2027. Now, that's what he's saying. Not that those 4 million people will be voting for a particular party. They will be voting for political parties of their choice. And it depends on whoever in power. God, the one that wants a second time, depends on his ability to convince the people for the majority of those votes to go to him.
It depends on what he has performed.
And the ADC, well, of course, as expected, they are making politics of the sad security situation in the country. Well, they are the opposition, so I guess that's what they should be doing. A Kwara massacre exposes collapse of security under Tinubu, says ADC.
Well, this one says, Appeal Court upholds 2.5 billion naira judgment against Abu over unlawful sack of 100 staff and threatens action if CBN fails to properly release funds. Let me go through this. Okay, Ahmadu Bello University Zaria. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has upheld the 2.5 billion naira judgment given on November 30, 2015 by the National Industrial Court of Nigeria against the Ahmadu Bello University Zaria over its unlawful disengagement of 110 staff in 1996. And the appellate court also ordered the Central Bank of Nigeria to promptly release the judgment sum to the staff whose unlawful disengagement was voided in the November 30, 2015 judgment of the NICN, filling which that is the bank's principal officers shall be subjected to the court's disciplinary powers. Well, that is for that. I'm still talking about, yes, you remember that congressman, Tola, and remember the lobbying deal. Now, U.S. Congress panel has slammed the federal government's $9 million lobbying deal. Yes, $9 million lobbying deal. Let me see what this is about.
I thought they were cool with it all the while because they didn't say anything.
Yes, let's see what it's about. Now,
so people were saying, some Nigerians were saying that is very, very normal for the federal government to do that. But then there is the Congress now criticizing that effort.
Now, United States congressional hearing on global religious freedom has criticized the federal government's reported $9 million lobbying contract in Washington, with lawmakers warning that the deal appeared to be aimed at downplaying a serious human rights and religious freedom violations. And the concerns were raised on Wednesday during a joint hearing of the House Committee on Africa and the Subcommittee on the Western Hemisphere, titled Defending Religious Freedom Around the World. And the session, monitored by Saturday Punch, featured testimonies from former U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom, Sam Brownback, and former chair of the U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom, Dr. Stephen Schneck. And the chairman said, yes, the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Africa Subcommittee, Chris Smith, defended the October 2025 decision to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern under the International Religious Freedom Act, describing it as long overdue in light of years of deadly violence against Christian communities. Well, I don't know where this will end now.
I think I agree with the U.S. Congress on this and their position regarding the lobbying deal. What we should be doing, of course, there are a lot of people that disagree with me, especially the experts also say on international affairs. I've also said that this is necessary for the Americans to back down and for them to be able to actually understand what is happening in Nigeria. But I think what we need to do is to actually address the problem, address what is making the Americans think that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria, address the killings of Nigerians across the country, address the heinous crimes being committed by terrorists and bandits in their nation. That is what we should be doing, and not try to downplay. I also agree with them that this deal is an attempt to downplay whatever is happening in our country. So like I said, the root cause, what is making the Americans to think that Christians have been killed en masse in Nigeria, that is what we should be doing. So I agree with the U.S. Congress on this. I think, for me, my opinion here, I think it's just a monumental waste of resources. You can see the Americans are not impressed. So that is what it means. If their Congress is saying this, that means they are not impressed by that deal.
That deal, we are meant to believe that the deal was, initially, the deal was, accepted by the Americans and the American government and the Congress people. Now they have talked, and they are not agreeing with that. And the Christian genocide, like you said, when I read about two stories, were Muslims not attacked when they made a prayer call, and they, some Muslims came running to pray, and at the end of the day they were killed.
So it means Muslims who are the target, not Christians. So well, we'll see how it unfolds. Like I said, the Americans are not impressed with that deal, that $9 million deal, and then we must begin to face the realities. We must begin to actually know that we are at war with these people, and we must find a way of routing them out of our country once and for all. That is what the Americans are asking us to do. And I don't think that is difficult.
I'm not even routing them out of the country. Searching, getting their sponsors, and those backing them.
I have this feeling that this war against insurgency, terrorism, and banditry, if we are not going to consider collateral damage, I believe it can be won in a month. But if we are thinking about considering collateral damage, 3 months. My opinion here. If we are careful, but if we are not going to consider collateral damage in a month, if we are realistic, if the political will is there, and if we are not going to deceive ourselves anymore.
And also that negotiations with terrorists, those criminals,
it has to stop. And still on security, troops raid kidnappers' hideouts in Edo Forest, arrest 13 suspects, seize weapons, drugs. And security agents storm Kogi Forest, arrest 8 criminals. Okay, quickly, let's take some. It's Saturday.
Now,
the big of battery will all details. Wow. My wife set our house ablaze, claims she planned to roast me alive. It's coming from the husband. And the wife said the land we built the house on belongs to me. That's coming from the wife. I remember when we were little, there was this elderly couple, they were both in the medical profession. And they were high up in the medical profession. They are both lit now. God rest their sweet souls. Now, they will get into a fight with elderly people at that time. And the land on which the house was built belongs to the elderly lady, the elderly old lady, but it was the Baba that built the house. So the Baba will say, leave my house, pack your things and leave my house. Then the Mama will say, and as little as we were just next the next compound to them, I would be hearing this and we would laugh. But they were so, aside from their little occasional fights, they were such a delightful couple. Like I said, God rest their souls. So when I saw this, Baba just went back to them those days. Other stories. I no longer love my husband because he refused that we have more children. In this economy, A housewife, Jimmy Kesanusi, has appointed Kubwa Upper Area Court in Abuja Federal Capital to the FCT, seeking the solution of a 3-year-old marriage to her husband, Alabi Oluyole, on grounds of lack of love and affection. Well, they got married in April 2021 according to Islamic law, and the union was blessed with one daughter. Okay, I can understand in this part of the world, Bimbo, just one child. I remember a lady that used to work with us here at the BCS, and well, she has left for the diaspora now. And I remember she had twins. And well, I was quite close to her, and then she was telling me at some point that she had issues with her mother-in-law, that the mother-in-law was saying that he that just being pregnant once and going to labor once and just having children. Despite the fact that she had twins, the boy and the girl. Well, she has to the glory of God, she has 2 more children now. So I guess the mother-in-law would have backed off now. No, not she has 2 more. Then this one says the husband abandoned me, our children, for 4 years. Oh dear, because that's due to the economy. And DNA test will show that my lover, a member of parliament, is the father of our 4 children, and the man says I agree to the test. That happened in Zambia. And then finally, so it says, my husband careless about our childless state, monitors, threatens me. Woman tells court. Well, maybe he wants to be sure that you don't go and try outside for a baby.
Trial and error.
So maybe that's why he monitors, and then, well, quite unfortunate. I pray that God will bless them with what they are searching for. All right, let's open the phone lines. 080-5500-985 or 070-5555-1985 numbers to call.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother Bimbola and brother Bola.
Good morning, brother.
I pray again today that the peace of the Lord will be with you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And we are praying for the peace of this country, that God Almighty will show us mercy and give us peace. I think that the war is coming from Okeo.
Good to have you, sir.
Reported the people that were massacred recently in Kwara State were lured through call to prayers by the murderers. Look at how devilish people can be. In the name of God, committing murder, committing massacre against God, first of all, who commands that no one should kill, that thou shalt not kill, and against the people. And of course, what is it that wicked people don't use to perpetuate their wickedness in this country? Fake religious people, they use religious programs to rob people of their money, to rob people of their lands and houses, to rob people of their vehicles and other belongings. They do other things to commit, heinous crimes through religious programs and activities. It is just unfortunate for this country. And there is the beginning of this wicked acts not traceable to religious practices, like Boko Haram, like my Typhoon of Kano in those days. I do think that our government, past governments, stood against these religious people, fake religious people, I mean, the ones that found ourselves in this mess. Well, we pray like Eternal also join me this day that God will save us. God, please save this country. Deliver us from this wickedness. Thank you. I did that over Mukeo. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Also, 5555-1985.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I can be advisor from you.
Good to have you, sir.
It has been a long while now since we had the agenda. I hope he's very well. On the issue of security, sir, to say that it is becoming worrisome now is going to be an understatement. But it is becoming very scary. Very, very scary. Afghanistan is now under the rule of the Taliban. This is how it started until the countries overrun. What the American government did then, when the Taliban took over, was to ask their nationals to leave the place immediately for their life. I mean, Yoruba says only the chicken can be anymore. One day, America will answer Nigeria issue. It's only then that the reality will stare us in the face. Our government is only busy themselves to dictate laws and 2027 election. The question is, to the debt pay tax, to the debt vote, the group of people in the position of authority now have no interest of the common man in mind. It is high time the electorate shall vote entirely. Boycotting all electoral activities is the only way I think the common man can vote against an irresponsible government.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Then, well, unfortunately, Nigerians still have to perform their civic duty. If the majority refuse to vote, then the wrong people will get into the seat of power.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm
Good to have you.
on our attack. You said the talk on the community. Let me tell the army. They don't know where. The Mapuche is. The thing is that I'm not to them. That's the way to attack. Now, I'm doing a lot of take care of the people of Ratan. Nigeria people want to grab, and they're going to want to call us. Not to me. But you know, they come to the price. Man, you're not bad. Give and take. That is it. You want the problem? Not too much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nwem.
Also, 5555185. I'll keep the calls coming in.
Yes, family kicks as Ujumi singer's ex-husband exposes secrets. Well,
we go again. Our government seizes 12 baskets of chemical ripened mangoes, warns against dangerous practices.
Yes.
Is mango season yet?
I'm not really sure.
This is very dangerous, bingo. And it's just 12 baskets. Only God knows how many baskets more there are. Chemical ripened mangoes. And, okay. We also have this one, Makinde aligned faction. False INEX recognition of Wike-backed caretaker committee. We spoke about that earlier.
Yes. And
Kano government donates 100 million to Singa market fire victims. As also in Kwara, NEMA deploys response team to assess impact of bandits attack. So we're having emergency relief there now. And then, okay, also 50 years old, Oyo State redefines the meaning of progress as talking Oyo at 50. And the governor Shivakida has said that activities will continue for a year with commissioning of projects. Declared a year-long commissioning of projects.
Yes.
That will also mark celebrations for Oyo at 50.
Now this one says venom and vacuum. How Nigeria's anti-venom shortage turns snake bites into death sentences.
And that has been happening a lot.
Yes.
That's something that we've not really been talking about, especially talking about in the media now. Something that about a whole lot but people lose their lives day in, day out. Well, some people are lucky. Sometimes if they do get the alternative medicine practitioners who know about these things, some of them are they have this herbal medicine. Some of them, they said some of them remember the spiritual powers to call out the venom. So some people have been lucky and their lives have been saved. But I think this is something very worrisome, well, especially up north and even here down south in southwest Nigeria.
Yes.
The snakes can find their way, venomous snakes, they can find their way into your homes. Virtually, sometimes you find them in your homes and you wonder how they got there.
Yes.
But like I said, if people are more enlightened, if the antivenom is more available, and people are more enlightened on what to do as a first response in the case of a snake bite, I mean, it would really help a lot. But gone are the days when media houses used to embark on all sorts of jingles and also awareness campaigns for over matters like this, but we don't see that happening again. Well, I think 070-5555-1985. There seems to be having issues with the phone network. And then, Russian East APC woman leader, Ondo political leaders commend Tibumbu. And why teacher people ratio remains high in Nigerian schools, says FCE provost. Federal College of Education was CLA Abeokuta.
Yes, and this one says Ondo land lady poisons tenant's son over feed. That's according to a 40-year-old landlady in Ondo State. She has been arrested for the charge.
Well, I don't know the detail, but due and diligent investigation to make sure that the landlady is not being framed for what she did not do. Because when it comes to landlord-tenant disputes, anything can happen. And then when we are even tenant to tenant, when we are not on good terms with your tenants, and then something happens, of course the victim tries to blame the other, saying that it's one responsible. So I'm not exonerating the landlady, but I'm just saying that this matter should be very investigated very deeply.
Let me go through the details, some details. Okay, let's take this call here. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Ademala from Ghana.
Good to have you, sir.
On the security, the government did all its calls, the deploy security officers to Kuala Lumpur. And the security people did well. They are being effective. But in the north, people are praying because some people are part of evil. They pray. So the terrorists are some people, and they are giving terrorist information. And the terrorists are somewhere. So at present, we are looking for increased collaborations between our security agencies, and they should continue. And this registration in Kano, we need this. People will vote to 2027, and the INEC should continue the voters registration. And at present, government should improve the standard of people. People needs, they should provide people needs. They should provide people's needs. And they should focus on the welfare of the people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Demola. 070-5555-1985. Keep the calls coming. Let's read something from that story about the person that was alleged to have killed.
Yes, the 40-year-old woman, Nafisa Latif, she has been arrested by the Ondo State Police Command for allegedly poisoning the 3-year-old son, of a tenant at Umefon Digbo local government area of the state. And according to the police, Lateef poisoned the boy following an argument between her and the victim's mother, identified as Rafiat, and the suspect was said to have given the victim a liquid substance suspected to be poisonous. The State Police Public Relations Officer, Abayomi Jimoh, disclosed this in a statement issued on Friday.
Like I said, do an diligent investigation to be sure that they are not just trying to pin this on the landlady because of the a dispute between her and the tenants. But we don't know the details and why the accusers are so sure that it was the landlady that killed the boy. But
and then it was found out that the act was reportedly carried out following a misunderstanding between the complainant and the suspect, who is the complainant's landlady. And shortly after consuming the substance, the child began vomiting and was immediately rushed to a nearby hospital where he received medical attention. And that is according to police detectives. During a swift and intelligence-led operation, they now arrested the suspect. And
the story doesn't say what the landlady had to say for herself regarding the accusations.
Well, they did not.
Well, we should carry out the diligent investigation to be sure, just to be sure. Right, check your time, it's 7:30, and we have to go. We have quite a challenge with the phone network this morning. I'll be back same time Monday morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombe. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your weekend.
Oluyole FM ní gbogbo ìlú ń gbọ́ orí àwọn eléré wọn náà ni wọ́n ń bọ̀. Ọmọdé ìlú o, àgbààgbà ìlú o, Oluyole ni ẹ máa gbọ́. Bó jẹ́ torí àwọn alálórí, bó jẹ́ tìròyìn elétí ọ̀fẹ́ òtẹ́tì, àwọn alámọ̀ tí ẹ̀ ń fẹ́. Ètò àtàtà lóríṣiríṣi àwọn alálèdè, lẹ́gbẹ̀gbà olóògbòdò bàbá ní 98.5 o. Òun sáàyè ẹ máa gbọ́. Ẹ ṣeun, igi pọ̀ ní gbọ́ká tó fi gé ọmọ gbẹ̀gbẹ̀ dùn. Ìròyìn àsìkò tó kún rárá, eré ìdárayá, kálá nílò ẹ̀ lásìkò ọ̀rọ̀ òṣèlú orin àgbọ̀dúnú. Ètò lóríṣiríṣi Oluyole FM lọ̀gá gbogbo mú tún mú wá. Ọmọdé ìlú o, àgbààgbà ìlú o, Oluyole ni ẹ máa gbọ́.
Yàrá. Ó tún gbédè èyí yàtọ̀ títún tí mo tún gbédè.
Burúkọ̀kọ̀ alálùlá tètè ètò ìyára.